Not an accident, not a murder. A tragedy, and an easily avoidable one. That's the reality, which the disingenuous are attempting to make genuine through brute force. And a disclaimer, I've stopped the video one frame before the actual firing of the bullet because I don't know YouTube's policies, but there's nothing graphic happening in the video due to the angle in which it's recorded. If you want to see the whole thing, I suggest you should, as many people are trying to manipulate frames of it in order to push their agendas. It's all over the internet, so you don't even have to look for it. It's just everywhere. Now, as with most things of this nature, malicious people attempt to spin it, knowing that there are fools predisposed to believing in any reality that best suits them, and sloths who will believe in anything without so much as asking for a source, let alone looking for it themselves. And considering Minnesota is already a hotbed of drama, people are willing to disbelieve high-quality video evidence, it seems. But before I dissect their lies, I need to give my first impressions. The first thing I saw regarding this was a very short, contextless video of the shooting, obviously to help skew the truth. What I first noticed in this video was that a person, whom I will refer to as Agent, was reaching through the driver's window while the driver is attempting to back up the vehicle, turn it, and accelerate. Even without context, it's clear that the driver wouldn't be doing this with someone reaching through their window unless they were trying to either escape or injure them, so we can conclude that they were resisting arrest and attempting to flee the scene. The vehicle backs up while doing this, and in doing so, is aimed directly at another official, whom I will refer to as Officer. The vehicle then accelerates, and the officer draws and fires their gun, killing the driver. The officer dodges the vehicle and is not hit by it. Now I'll quickly give each party's claims before explaining the painfully obvious. The official explanation given by the federal government, and I suppose the right wing, is that the driver was stalking and impeding the officials throughout the day, and at this moment was blockading the road with her vehicle in order to stop officials. Officials ordered her to get out of the vehicle, but she rebuked their commands, and as officials attempted to arrest her, she tried to weaponize her vehicle in order to run over the officer. The official explanation of the state, and I suppose the Democratic Party, is that the ICE agents are not welcome there, and that this was a murder sanctioned by the federal government, with the mayor specifically calling their claims bullshit. Now, let's take another look at the video and use our brains, which isn't something that you actually need to do, given the fact that it is a video which shows everything, but all the same, people seem to be failing this intelligence check on the left, right, and center, so why don't you go ahead and fire up a few of those neurons just for the sake of it. Firstly, we can ignore the context of her impeding ICE. This is irrelevant. We can see that she was under arrest, and the reasoning for that doesn't matter. The appropriate response once you're under arrest is to submit to the officials arresting you. She would only exacerbate the issue by doing anything else. That's exactly what she chose to do, and that's exactly what happened. She, the driver, made a poor decision to resist arrest and to try and drive away. From the officer's point of view, a person who was resisting arrest just aimed their car directly at him, and the instant they accelerated, he made the snap decision that he was under attack, so he was going to draw his weapon and shoot. Both of these, I think, were bad decisions. Needless to say that resisting arrest is, but considering the context of them likely being a fleeing activist, it seems more prudent to favor dodging the vehicle you thought was ramming you rather than drawing your gun to shoot at them. That said, I would offer a lifeline in that the officer was placed closely in front of the vehicle of an alleged antagonist that randomly accelerated towards him, and he had only enough time to make a single decision. On the other hand, the woman driving made a deliberate decision to do what she did. From witnessing the available video, I do not think that she intended to weaponize her vehicle and ram the officer as the federal government and pretty much every right-winger I've seen has claimed. Not at all. It appears to me that they intended to turn right and drive past the officer who shot them. While the government and many Republicans claim she was going to ram the officer, the Democrats are blaming the officer for not noticing the direction of her wheels. Again, I will throw a lifeline to the officer. At that range and that angle, I highly doubt he could even see the tires, and even if he could, he would see them through peripheral vision, as he would be looking at the driver who appeared to be resisting arrest as opposed to the angle her tires were turned at. This is a luxury of looking at a video, not of being in the moment, in the instant, so we have to consider that. There may be more unknown context. I've heard people on the left claim that this woman allowed people to pass by and wasn't blocking the road, but I also see them claiming countless other lies on a daily basis, including lies regarding this exact event. It is no surprise that the boy who cried Nazi 5 times per second every single day for the past year is a completely incredulous source of information, and I would suggest leftist civilians to be mindful of just how significantly that behavior has corroded the worth of their words. Then again, I've also seen politicians on the left saying no less, as Mayor Jacob Frey claims it wasn't self-defense, and as I said earlier, claiming that it was bullshit, with legislators saying that there's a hostile federal government that's specifically targeting Minnesota, and Governor Tim Walz referring to the situation as a federal propaganda machine. Maybe these politicians should take a look at Reddit. They have millions of people spreading Democratic lies every minute of every day, some of which we'll look at later on, but empty words can only get you so far. Having seen many of these arrests, I can tell you that places like Reddit actively encourage violence against the government in nearly every political thread, and many of these people being arrested, at least the ones that become some sort of internet drama, are of the people who resist arrest for no good reason, and when ICE arrests someone, and they resist arrest, well, Reddit gets fuel. The Democrats get fuel. They start screaming about amendments and constitutions, fascists and Nazis. Loads of people get arrested, but only the ones who fight back make it onto the front page. They are defined innocent simply by existence, and, well, lo and behold, the exact same thing is happening right now. The left are saying this woman, identified as Renee Nicole Macklin Good, is an innocent, kind-hearted person who was murdered by a lawless Nazi regime, all while using the fact that she's a mother, that she's a poet, as if that's relevant, and even using her peculiar last name, which happens to be Good, as a fulcrum to push their political agendas. The right wing is saying that she's a violent protester who tried to murder an ICE agent to push their political agendas. I have no message to send about Renee, as I don't know anything about her life and even scant information about her death, but she's not the reason I made this video anyway. Everyone's reaction is. The point is that everyone is lying about it. Whatever Renee was thinking is unknown to all, but what's clear is that no one is telling the truth about her death. In a surprise to nobody, extremists all act the same. Who could have guessed it? As I stated, while it happened too quickly for the officer to notice, and while the officer was at such a close distance and elevated angle that he could not have noticed the turning angle of the tires, those of us watching the footage, if we are honest with ourselves, can attest in truth that this woman was very clearly turning to the right in an attempt to flee ICE, but not to weaponize her vehicle and attack anyone. Now, the officer did not know that, and it was too quick for him to discern that anyway, so his judgment call was to shoot at what he presumed to be a dangerous assailant attempting to run him over. He has that excuse. Those watching the video and claiming she tried to kill him have no excuse for their words, and those watching the video and claiming that the officer should have known that her tires were turned at a certain angle, well, they have no excuse for their words either. We have a high-quality video, people. What do you think you're talking about? The lesson? Don't resist arrest. Don't drink Democratic Kool-Aid about fighting back violently. These are not 1940 German Nazis for you to heroically vanquish and be exactly like Captain America and Indiana Jones. They are police and federal agents of the USA. They are your actual neighbors. Don't take chances. Don't throw insults. Don't make sudden movements. Don't make jokes. They are not joking. Being arrested by the federal government is not an opportunity for you to become internet famous. Don't think that taunting them will result in you being lauded as a hero. It will result, bare minimum, in you consuming a 2-pound bag of pepper spray via your eye ducts. On that topic, take a look at this thread here. You can see this maliciously designed picture posted on r/pics. This is from the Minneapolis protest as well. A man very clearly grabbed and held onto the agent's pepper gun. In this instant, the agent made a snap decision, much like the other officer, to reply with what they deemed reasonable force, because someone had just grabbed onto their gun. That decision was to raise their pepper gun and shoot the man in the chest. The chest. Reddit has entire threads like this one circle-jerking the lie that he was shot in the head, providing no evidence of it whatsoever, but including a conveniently misleading picture, like I said. Again, what are you people talking about? There's a video which you watched, some of you anyway, and you think that he was headshot? Tell me, have I lost my mind, or is the left shoulder not, in fact, the head? By the way, all of the drama involved in this one lie about excessive force is conveyed in 2 seconds of the video, which is too much effort for Redditors, it would seem. As for this particular thread, it was intentionally posted here because, well, it's called r/pics. It's the perfect breeding ground for propaganda. After reloading the page, I found the thread had been deleted, but not before feeding an unknown number of people a lie. r/pics continues to allow political trash resulting in further extremisms because they just don't care. Or maybe it's intentional. There are too many lies to keep up with, but another Democratic lie being spread is that he had his gun drawn from the start, which is, again, insane to say because there's video evidence that he did not. And another Republican lie, just to be totally fair, that's being spread is that he was hit by the vehicle, which, again, is insane to say because everyone can see that it's totally untrue in just a couple of seconds. I know people in real life who have droned on about these things, and they have openly said that they didn't watch the video, so I know that this isn't just bots on Reddit. The self-righteous indignancy that these people in real life that I've talked to carry in their voice is vile. As they have not watched the video, they have no idea what they're talking about. And everyone should try to avoid being like them, because this man here was not shot in the face. Now, there's still the matter of the pointless investigation to be had, which in and of itself is going to be a dramatic fustercluck as the authorities don't want to work together on it. Minnesota's Bureau of Criminal Apprehension Superintendent Drew Evans Dead Hair Stiff stated that they would be having a joint investigation with the FBI, but then the U.S. Attorney's Office did a 180 on that. It would seem probably a bad idea, as if one group alone conducts an investigation, everyone will say that their conclusion is a lie, or, at least one side will, depending. Governor Tim Walz has already charged people to believe that they will be cheated, or at least he's charged the Minnesotans to believe that.
And so, Minnesotans, I will continue to press that we be part of the investigation, that we do the investigation, so that Minnesotans can trust what the outcome is. I don't have a predetermined notion. Yes, I saw the video. Yes, I saw that. But a thorough investigation will see what happened before that. It will take all factors in, and it will come up with a fair and just conclusion. And we will accept that. Very, very difficult for Minnesotans to think in any way this is going to be fair when Kristi Noem was judge, jury, and basically executioner yesterday. That's very, very difficult to think that they were going to be fair.
But even if he hadn't said that, it would still happen. He goes on to wisely encourage everyone to be peaceful, but as I have said and will continue to say, he is but one voice against Legion, and Legion demands blood in the streets. In any case, the only actual question is whether or not his decision to use lethal force is justifiable. Normally, I would say that shooting a fleeing suspect who is likely unarmed, though they are in a vehicle, would be egregious. But in this particular case, he knew they were resisting, and from his point of view, they aimed a vehicle directly at him and accelerated. There's absolutely no way the officer wanted to be in that scenario. They weren't some war junkie hoping to be deployed into hostile territory. Like I said, it's just a tragedy. But I'm not here to play judge, jury, and executioner, as Tim Walz alleged Kristi Noem was doing. For that matter, I'm pretty sure the left wing are trying to forcefully fulfill their own prophecies and blame the right for it. ICE is there to stop illegal immigrants, and none of this would be happening if you would just get the hell out of their way and go home, which, funnily enough, the left-wing activists are trying to make into their slogan. ICE always tells people, go home, when they get in their way, and the incredibly clever Democrats decided to parrot them. The difference is that they have no authority. While one deports illegal immigrants, the others are the people brigading Star Wars subs. These are the people LARPing as Star Wars rebels and injecting their real-world politics into fictional art because they're obnoxious twats. And they'll defend their unwelcome nature by claiming that Star Wars is a story about fighting Nazis. These are the people responsible for the Acolyte. They tried to unplug Star Wars when it was already on its deathbed. They tried to end what they claim to represent. They are confusing fiction with reality in every possible sense. Please, I beg you, stop ruining Andor, and stop conflating journalism, activism, and peaceful protests with stalking, harassment, and rioting. For everyone's sake. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Take care now. Bye-bye then.